Good morning, young Groms. We are up. We are sunburnt, tired, and just overall exhausted. I slept in till like 6:30 this morning, and I couldn't make it to the beach and back up to where I'm working before 9. And then I'm working till like 5:30 tonight. And then if there's time, I'll definitely get a sunset session in. I'm squeezing the juice out of life, and I'm squeezing everything I can out of this swell. And if I get to surf 5 days in a row, that's an awesome day, and I'm stoked. Hey guys, after looking at the cam, the waves are still pumping somehow. I'm about to go work 9 hours, and after that, hopefully there's still daylight, because I definitely want to get the most out of this swell. I want to work hard. I want to become a champion, and this is the process of how we do it. All right, young Groms, we just made it out. I just zoomed. I hit the jets on, I ran up the hill, I ran as fast as I could, get to my car. I'm feeling like a freaking triathlete right now. How much running and surfing I'm doing, I'm in amazing shape. My resting heart rate is literally like 14. I stayed an hour and 10 minutes late, which I was stoked on because I had the opportunity to sew a lip back together. There was this lip that got punctured through both sides, and I used these non-absorbable sutures, or I used these absorbable sutures, and yeah, I put like a few stitches in. I was stoked. I'm getting really good at suturing, you know, so if I'm ever on a surf trip, and the hard part would be having the right equipment, but yeah, I'm confident with the needle driver, and I just feel like I enjoy doing, like, I like looking in the patient's eye afterwards, and you know, they're nervous beforehand, and I just like seeing them be like calm and relieved afterwards. And if I can get them feeling better, like, I'm stoked. That's my job, both mentally and, you know, putting them back together physically. So there's about an hour of daylight left. I got a 30-minute drive ahead of me, but that has never stopped us before. We're on the way to catch some waves. Okay, yeah, so the past 3 nights I've surfed past sunset. One night, even when I literally saw a shark jump like 150 yards out the lineup. And it's not really that sketchy. It's a little sketchy when it gets like pitch dark, but when you see on Surfline that it's a 7:30 sunset, you can actually, in like the late summer, you can surf like up until and a little past 8 o'clock. If it's like no clouds in the sky and the sun goes down, there's still a little bit of ambient light, and you can like surf fine. And it's kind of awesome because, like, no matter how good the waves are, people just get out of the water around sunset. But at a home break that you're like super familiar with, and you're not worried about any like obstacles, you know where all the rocks are, and there's a sand bottom, like there's no point of getting out. Like you can push it pretty late, and I've been just finding like an extra hour to surf pretty much. Today it's the grind. Like ultimately I have this rule of like the drive should be shorter than the amount of time you're surfing. Like you should spend more time surfing than you do in the car, but my whole channel is about doing the opposite of that. You know what, when I go up to Maine, I'm definitely spending way more time driving around hunting for waves than I am like at the actual surf spot, let alone standing up riding a wave. And then, you know, when we went to Iceland, the amount of time in the car was unbearable compared to how much I was surfing. But, you know, to make surfing worth it, you have to work so hard. I think that's everything in life. Like in medicine, you put in like 8 years of undergrad and then 3, 4, 5 years of training, where you take this like low minimum wage salary for the amount of hours you're working. And like, it's not a good financial investment by any means, but like you have to love it. And it kind of goes with everything I've noticed in like my life, is that you put so much effort into it. You put more effort that you'll ever get back. It's true with surfing, it's true with medicine. And I can believe it extends to anything. So if you really love something and you're passionate about it, just give everything to it. Like last night, I was kind of bummed that I didn't get that barrel shack way behind the curtain, pull out, and then like, you know, pump my fist in the air. But I was honestly like happy, and I was just stoked. That's this feeling that I left no stone unturned, that the opportunity didn't come to me solely out of luck. Maybe a little like skill and positioning and like wave selection, but there was no lack of effort. There was no time where I was like sitting on land or called it quits early or said, nope. I stayed out there past dark. The camera wasn't working. My eyes weren't working. And I, like, whatever opportunity that I had, I gave it my all. So these two swells, Franklin and Adalia, they taught me that you can surf after work. You just gotta be able to work super hard at it. And they've reinforced into me that medicine and surfing, they're just really hard. And to get some enjoyment out of it, you have to put in so much work, and you're not even sure whether it's worth it at the end. But, you know, when you do get that one barrel, I've only had like 3 real barrels in my life. 1 in Jersey, 2 at Lido, and 4th one in Honolulu Bay in Maui. And those 4 barrels are like the only 4 real like barrels that I've like pulled into, was standing up, you know, great vision, and then came flying out. Those were worth my life. Like, I would, like, there's nothing I would trade in the world for those few barrels. And you know, my session in Iceland in the Arctic Ocean, there's nothing I would trade in the world for that. So at the end of the day, I do say, I probably have to admit that it is worth it. It is worth all the time. But if you're just shooting down to the beach and you're trying to film a vlog, you're trying to make it in the surf video content world, it's not gonna feel worth it. For how hard you're working. But then you get the moment, like getting a clear water barrel in Honolulu Bay, or getting like 20, 50, 100 yard plus rides all to yourself and one other Icelandic dude in the middle of the Arctic. Those moments make it worth it. So I don't know what this speech has turned into, but if you're in the surf game and you're working hard, just keep working and it'll all pan out. Alright guys, we are headed out. We are a weary crew after surfing 2 full sessions with a lot of waves. We don't know how it's going to look or if there's anyone going to be there, but I just got into a wet 6 mil wetsuit. I'm already shivering. Got to put on 1 mil socks, 8 mil booties, and 5 mil gloves that are wet. And gonna go rip up this point break because tomorrow it's not going to be good, and this is our last shot, so we're giving everything we got.